Anker's Fusion power banks are really cool because they actually have these folding prongs on the back of them, so they combine a power bank and a charger into one compact device. And in this video, we're gonna look at my 3 favorite Fusion chargers and help you decide which one is the right for you. Now, I do wanna say Anker sent me all 3 of these for free for purposes of making some videos. They have no input in this content. This is gonna be based on my experience using all these chargers in the real world. If you're interested in buying any of these chargers, I do have links to buy all of them in the description below. So there's 2 main categories of the Fusion chargers. There's the Prime one and there's the 30-watt ones. The Prime one really stands out because it has a better display on it. It is a little bit bigger though, and this one has 9.6 thousand milliamp hours, but it provides up to 65 watts of power out. Now that's gonna be split between both the ports, so if you're powering multiple things on this, then your power is gonna go down. This does recharge itself at 30 watts, but all the devices that are plugged in are going to be recharged at up to 65 watts. So this one's gonna be a really great option if you wanna use it with a laptop sometimes, or also with iPads and tablets, other devices that take higher wattage. The other 2 Fusion chargers both top out at 30 watts of power out, so the Prime Fusion does have the advantage in total output wattage. Now, one blessing and curse of the Prime one is it has no built-in USB-C cord. It does have this lanyard, and you can actually buy a little lanyard USB-C cord and attach it if you want. It has 2 USB-C ports on the side, which is nice in some people's opinion because then you can plug in whatever devices, whatever cables you want. The other ones you can get with the built-in USB-C cable, or these are also both available with built-in lightning cords as well if you have an older iPhone. So of these 2, one of them is a 5,000 milliamp hour and the other is a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. The 5,000 is going to give you just under 1 phone charge if you're using it in power bank mode. The 10,000 will give you just under 2 iPhone 15 Pro or 16 Pro charges. These also both have the fold down prongs on them. So here is the 5,000 milliamp hour version, and there is how the cord just comes undone from it. These also both have a USB-C port on the side of them, and you can either recharge these by plugging them into the wall, plug them into another charger with the USB-C cord, or plug something into the USB-C port as well. You can also use the cord and the port at the same time. So there's tons of versatility with this one. Now, one thing to note about the 5,000 milliamp hour one, it says 30 watts on the side of it, but technically this one only puts 22.5 watts of power out if you're not using it while plugged into a wall. If you want to have the full 30 watts of power out, you are going to need to use this plugged into a wall. The bigger one, the 10,000, does always put out a maximum of 30 watts, whether you're using it as a power bank or if you're using it plugged into the wall. So this one's gonna give you a little bit better power. If I was trying to decide between all of these, the first thing you need to ask yourself is if you want the built-in cable, in which case I would say most people that just want to charge a phone, you probably need to decide between the 5,000 or 10,000. I would recommend most people get the 10,000 milliamp hour one though, because it'll be more versatile if you want to also keep an iPad charge. This will give you just under 1 iPad charge with the 10,000 milliamp hour one if you're using it in power bank mode. But it also makes a great iPad charge plugged into the wall. 5,000 milliamp hour one to me, it's just a little bit smaller than I would like to be really useful. It is a bigger size than some of the other smaller 5,000 milliamp hour power banks I've used by Anker, and you're really sacrificing some of that size to have the built-in charger. So I think the size sacrifice on this one makes it not as worth buying if you compare it to the 10,000 milliamp hour one. And then it gets a lot easier to decide between these. You have the Fusion Prime, you have the Prime, and then it gets a lot easier to decide. You have the Prime Fusion or you have the Fusion 10K. This one technically has a slightly smaller capacity than the Fusion 10K, and there's also no built-in cable, which may or may not be a good thing depending on what you think. Personally, I love the built-in cable, and that's why I grab this one more often when I want to use it with my phone. But the thing I really like about the Prime one is this one can also double as a great computer charger whenever you're plugging it into the wall, because 9.6 thousand milliamp hours is not going to be enough to really charge your computer for a long time. But if you're using it plugged into the wall, 65 watts of power is going to be plenty to use this as a computer charger. So buy the Prime Fusion if you want to be able to keep your computer charged, to not have to carry around a computer charger in your backpack. But buy the Prime 10,000 milliamp hour one if you want the built-in cord and you don't mind being limited to just the 30 watts of power. If you're interested in buying any of these, I do have links to buy all of them in the description below. If you've got any other questions about any of these power banks, leave a comment. I'd love to hear them. Like this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming content.